Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It's 2019. This is my first Facebook Live of 2019. It's been a little while. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm sure we'll get the hang of things going again. Hope you're all having a great 2019 so far. So many changes on my side. Number one, I have a stand-up desk now, so I'm not sitting as much. That is going to be an awesome thing for 2019 for me. Number two, I have an assistant now to help me, so we are working on an online course to help people that live in remote areas get good closet design. So I'm doing these videos kind of showing you guys how to do it, but we're actually going to be creating a course for people that want to walk through all of this on a more personal level. So that will be coming up. The website is up, and if you go there, there's broken links and all kinds of stuff that isn't working yet, but it's up, so it's motivating me to keep moving forward. I'm still doing tons of closet designs for my regular job, but we're moving forward in all kinds of areas. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a closet, and the title of this is how to turn your ugly duckling closet into a swan. I had an appointment and I went into a home where they were going to do a remodel of their bathroom and eliminate this walk-in closet that they had. The house was probably 30 years old, and so the closet was pretty old. And I couldn't see the closet because the door was shut, but they wanted to put basically a reach-in closet on the wall in a bedroom. And I just want to say one thing about that. It usually doesn't work. If you live in an older home, split level, any kind of home that's just a regular, typical 2,000 to 3,000 square foot house, the master bedroom is typically not big enough to take a wall and put in a closet in without making it kind of sort of awkward. Usually you end up walking into a wall as you're walking into the door. But anyway, I digress. The point is that in order to try to figure out what to do on this wall closet for her, I wanted to see what she had in her current closet. And when I opened the door, I was just like, seriously, you're gonna get rid of this closet? They wanted to add on to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh. Anyways, here's the deal. It was 78 inches long and 56 inches wide. It had a bar down each side, and it had never been updated. So of course it's, kind of a bar that's bowing and all, and because it was only 56 inches wide and there were clothes hanging on both sides, there's only 16, 18 inches down the center to walk, which made it really awkward. And all they had was, one rod with a shelf all the way down 78 inches. So of course that was kind of a mess. And then clothes all over the floor. Don't get me started on clothes all over the floor. Here's how you get rid of clothes on the floor. You pick them all up, put them in a bag, and take them to Goodwill, because clearly they're not really cared for. They're not that important if they're on the floor. That's my opinion. So anyways, I digress again. Let's talk more about this closet. So anyway, as I drove away from that appointment, I was thinking about how awesome that closet could have been if it just would have had a little bit of the right structure in. So today I want to show you and do some closet math of, what could have been for that closet, because I hear this from so many people. Oh, my closet's too small, it can't really do anything with it, there's really no hope for it. And that's just so not true. But especially in a closet that's 78 inches long and 56 inches wide, a lot of people would really love to have a closet that big, me included. And so I want to show you how to turn a closet like that into something that's really nice. So here we go. As I said, I have a stand-up desk now, so it took me a while this morning to get this set up right again, so hopefully it is. Hi, Stacy. And we'll get started. Okay. And then we'll move this up. Getting used to a stand-up desk has proved to be a little bit challenging. It's challenging to sit all the time, and it's challenging to get used to to standing all the time too, but I got an awesome mat with some, you know, different little things on it, so you kind of exercise as you're standing up. And so it's awesome. Want to try to get this a little bit more level here, so bear with me. I'm going to move this around a little bit. Okay, that looks kind of level. And we have a really bad shadow. What's causing that? Well, hopefully as I go in and out, you guys will be able to see this a little better. Hold on. Oh, that didn't help. Okay, well, let's get started and see if you can see anything. I should go online too and see, make sure that everything is the right side up. It looks like it is today. On another note, so many people have been telling me that they've been cleaning out their closets. Of course, with Marie Kondo's new show, Tidying Up. Some people love it, some people don't. I love it. I've been recommending that book for probably 5 years. I do use her folding method, and if you have a small house, you will love that. If you ever get it done the first time, it's really easy to maintain it. It looks really overwhelming at first, but it is absolutely awesome. So here we go. As I said, we've got some graph paper. If this is your first time watching, you can get the graph paper on my Facebook page. But if you have some graph paper at home, just figure 6 inches for 1 square, and you'll be good to go for drawing a closet. And there's also videos that you can watch that show you how to measure, how to draw, how to do inventory. I'm not going to go over all of that right now. So, okay, let's get started. The closet is 56 wide by 78 long, so there's our 56, and there's our 78. Now that doesn't leave a whole lot of room down here. I didn't really measure this closet other than that because I was measuring the clothes, but the door was kind of sort of centered and it opened out. So that was a good thing too. So what they did have was, like I said, just a rod going down each side with clothes hanging. And again, if we remember that, hanging clothes take up about 22 inches, this is kind of sort of what, was happening in that closet. I mean, this is their walking space. And of course, clothes move, so it doesn't seem quite that bad, but it's kind of like no wonder why they hated the closet, because it kind of sucked. Anyway, okay, here's what you do. We had 72 inches on each side, so we needed 144 inches of hanging. The back wall is 56. These side walls are 78. I'm going to say that these were 12 each. I believe they were because they had a shelf there, and those are typically 12 inches. So we're going to start with that. The first thing that I would have done to change this closet is I would have put hanging on the back wall. So we're drawing this from the top looking down. So we're just going to draw 2 sections in the back. Try to get that centered. And so we've got, if we draw that elevation out, I'll draw that out right away here. This was only an 8-foot ceiling too, so not a super high ceiling. So remember, we need 84 inches to do double hanging in. So that's what that line was. So we've got our 96-inch ceiling height. We've got our 84-inch system. And then we can draw in the what we're going to need. So we're doing double hanging on the whole back wall. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, so, you know, if we do the math, and again, when I'm doing these demonstrations, I'm not going to subtract for material or anything like that. So, of course, these dimensions are approximate. But if we've got 56 inches, we've got 20, you know, two sections about 28 inches wide. So we have 4 times 28. So we've already got 112 inches of hanging in this closet. Okay, remember we only needed 144 to handle what they were already using. So we're short by 32 inches so far. Okay, let's take a look at these side walls. I don't want to, if I can help it, don't want to put hanging across from hanging in this really narrow closet. So since the door opens this way, and we've got these two shallow spaces here, these are going to be ideal for narrower shelves. Now ideally in a master closet, I'd like to go a little bit deeper than 12 inches, but 12 inches will work. So let's draw that elevation. Oops. Get my straight line here. Let's draw that elevation of our 78 inches. Okay, and so we're looking at this wall here. Let's label these. If we label that one A, B, and C. Then this would be A. Okay, so now we're looking at the wall to the left. So the door would be down on this side. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, is put in some shelves. And a nice width for shelves there would be 24 inches, but let's reverse engineer this a little bit. If we've got our clothes hanging on the back wall, if you remember from some of the other designs that we've done, the clothes are going to take 22 inches. I generally, you know, go, 24, 27, depending on what's next to it. So let's figure, 27 inches or so is going to be taken up. So 78 minus 27 leaves us 51 inches. If we do a couple sections that are 24 inches, we could get those in there. Okay, so let's just do that for the simplicity of this. Let's just say that we're going to do two sections that are 24 inches wide. Now what are going to go in these sections? This first one we know is only 12 inches deep. So, it's probably going to be shoes and or clothes. We'll leave some room for a laundry basket down here. And if this was going to be shoes, it would be very close together. If it's going to be clothes, we can space it at about 10 inches apart. Okay, so this has a little bit of everything. You can get some shoes down here, your clothes up here. Now, we do need 32 inches more of hanging, remember. So we could do some hanging here, but I'm thinking that I'm going to save that for this wall. So on this wall, something that might be nice here is some drawers or some more shelving. Like I said, these folks had quite a bit of stuff on the floor, so I know that one of the big problems in that closet was that it didn't have accessible shelving. So getting accessible shelving and or drawers in there would have been key. So I'll just draw it with some drawers so you can kind of see. And we'll just put 4 in there with some shelves above and a little landing area there for your jewelry or whatever you want to, your phone, whatever you want to put there. Okay, so these are both 24. Okay, so then on the other side, let's take a look at that side. We've got the same thing happening at the back. If the door on this one is down on this side, then this is where that narrow wall is, and we've got clothes hanging in the back. I should have been a little bit more specific here. So again, the clothes are actually taking up this space. It's as if they were hanging in here. Okay? And actually, before we go any further, let's just kind of draw this in. We've got our 12-inch shelf there and a little bit deeper one out here for drawers. Or if you were doing shelves, they could all be the same, but I was just want to show you that it could be a little bit deeper there. Okay, so now we're looking at this wall. Again, the door is down here, but we still need, remember, 32 more inches of hanging. So one thing that we could do after we leave our proper space for our clothes that are going to be hanging into this area is we could put in a 30 or 32 inch hanging for what I would call mid-hanging. That type of hanging, I know I've showed you guys before. It's really for pants hung from the cuff, most dresses, except for, you know, super long dresses, which these folks didn't have any of that in their closet anyway. And longer sweaters that are really popular now, lots of times don't fit in double hanging. So a mid-hanging section where the rod is, you know, somewhere around 48 inches high or 51 inches high is really, really awesome and useful because it creates more shelving on top above it. So let's put in a 30-inch mid-hanging here. And we could say 32. You know, when I'm looking at that 144 inches, I measure very generously. So if we say 30 inches here, it's going to be fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you were doing this in a, you know, in a from a box store type of system, you'd have to go with 30 inches, not 32, because that's going to be the standard that they're going to have there. Okay, so for that mid-hanging section, we're going to have a rod right at about 51 inches with a shelf above that, and then that's going to create the opportunity to have more shelves here within, you know, accessible. When we draw out these plans on graph paper, everything really looks tiny. I can tell you that this is very large. And that would fit 3 stacks of clothes if you fold like they do in a store, you know, back and then over. That's going to create about a 10-inch module, and that's going to fit 3 stacks of clothes. If you have bigger, bulkier things like big sweatshirts and stuff that you just like to fold in half, that would fit 2 nice stacks on each shelf. And then you've got your mid-hanging, which is going to be a really versatile area. Okay, and then again, because this is only 12 inches deep, I'm just going to put some more shelves here. We could do this again, you know, do some more mid-hanging, but if you put hanging here, you're walking into it as you walk into the door, and it's not great, and they don't need it, so I would put shelving there. Oops. to try to, again, get stuff off the floor and neat and okay. And then I'll finish this elevation and we can do some closet math on how this all works out. And in this midsection, if you have the ability to buy a 14-inch deep section, 14 or 16, I would do that. In this one, I'd probably definitely stay at 14 because it's so narrow. But 56 minus, you know, 50, if they do 14-inch on each side, they've still got 28 inches to walk in, where before, remember I said they barely had anything to walk through. So the feel of this closet is going to be totally different. Totally different. So let's do some closet math. Before, they had 144 inches of hanging. They had one shelf going all the way back on each side, so 78. Two, they had 156 inches. Let's divide that by 12. So they had basically 13 spaces for folded clothes. 13 spaces that were actually kind of too high and really not easily accessible and had no structure to them, so it was like a continuous, you know, mess of sea of things that I don't really care how neat you are. That's really hard to maintain without some kind of structure in there. So this is what they had. Now we've got, for short hanging, we've got 112 inches. For mid hanging, we've got 30 inches. So we have 142 inches. We have, let's just say that we're going to use the bottom of each of these for shoes. So I'll put a few more shelves in here. And let me figure out what this one would be. So we've got 78. It's about 21 inches. So for especially for women's shoes, you might be able to still fit 3 pairs here, but a guy would fit 2. So I'm going to figure that this is the guy's side for shoes and this is hers to get a little bit more in there. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 pair of shoes there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3, 12 there. So let's just say we have 20 pairs of shoes. Then for folded clothes for spaces, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is 2, so 12, 14, 16, 18. Let's just count these as 2, 20, 22, 24. We've got 24 spaces. Okay, so I'm not even counting the top, which they still have and they can still use. So that's a whole nother, 144, and it's more than this because now they've got the back as well. So I hope you can kind of see how drastically this closet changed. If we wanted more hanging, we could have had it, but they didn't need it. But look at all the added space that they're able to get out of this closet if they just would have had some really simple structure in there. And not only that, but the whole feel of the closet would have been totally changed. Taking this ugly duckling closet into a beautiful Swan, and I guarantee you that they probably wouldn't be getting rid of it if they would have been able to picture what it could have been. So in my attempt to save some other ugly duckling closet, I hope that you got some value out of this video. As always, messages, questions, whatever I can answer, let me know. And if you have a friend that's got an ugly duckling closet that you think might benefit from seeing this, I hope you'll share it to them. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm on grandson duty today with my 6-month-old grandson, so I'm super excited about that. And I will be getting back to my regular Facebook Lives, showing you guys some more designs and talking about how to get more out of your space. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.